guys, today's look is this look right here, which I created with ItsMyRayeRaye palette. And if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Hi guys, so I went and did my eyebrows and primed my eyelids off camera, but today's main focus is this palette right here. This is the ItsMyRayeRaye collaboration with BH Cosmetics. This is a full face palette. It has 3 highlighters, 3 contour shades, and 15 eyeshadow shades. This is what the inside of the palette looks like, and it includes a mirror. The first shade we'll be taking is this first bone shadow right here. It's the shade Nudist. So we'll be packing that all over our lid just to set down our eyeshadow. The next shade we'll be using is the shade right next to Nudist, which is the shade Pancake. And we're going to be putting this all into the crease just to kind of give it more of a transition shade. The next shade we'll be dipping into is the shade right next to Pancake. It's the shade Mousse. It's a nice cool toned brown. We're adding a little bit more just to make sure everything is nice and blended out. Next, we're going to go back in with the shade Pancake just to make sure everything is blended out again and there's no harsh lines. Right after Mousse, we're going to go in with the shade Control Freak that's right next to it. So far we used all 4 of these shades right here. We're going to put Control Freak right into the crease just to build up everything and make sure everything's nice and blended. Now that I realize that everything is blended, we're going to go in with the next shade, which is the shade right here, and it's Sunset. It's just a nice deep red. We're packing this onto our Morphe Y16 brush. What we're doing is building this up in the crease so it gives a nice red effect. And with our Wet n Wild blending brush, we're going to go next to Sunset and we're going to go in with the shade Friday. This is a nice magenta shadow. We're going to place this on the outer and inner corner. It's not really doing that much. So next we're going to get our Y15 brush, which is this blending brush right here. And we're going to go in with the shade Connie, which is a nice regular deep purple. And we're going to pack this in the same place that we packed the last shadow, on the inner and outer corner. So next we're going to go in with our Wet n Wild brush again, and we're going to go back into this red shade Sunset to make sure everything is nice and blended out in the crease. There is a lot of fallout and kickback in this palette, but it's overall very pigmented. So next we're going to carve out our crease using this concealer right here. This is a Santee 2-in-1 concealer and foundation in the shade Fawn. We're picking up just a nice flat shader brush to go in to our concealer with and put it in the middle of our lid to get a nice spotlight eye. And then you look up so that it's the perfect area for you to cut out your crease. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. And this is the naked brush right here. This is the side that I used to carve out the eye, and the other side is just a blending brush, and we're gonna go into the shade Friday and put that on the outsides of both of these to blend out. So next we're picking up the NYX glitter primer, and we're going to prime our eyelids right where we just cut it out so that the glitter or the sparkly shadow that we choose to use is going to be nice and pigmented. So I like to just put a little bit of the back of my hand and go in with the same shader brush that I just used to cut out my crease. And then we pack it on the lid. So now we're picking up our Versanti eyeshadow 2 brush, which is just a nice shader brush, and I love using this one for glitter. And we're gonna figure out what shadow we want to use. I think first we're gonna go in with the shade Passion right here. It's just a nice deep plum, purple, and brown glitter shadow. So we're packing this all over our brush, and we're gonna dive right into the center where we just carved out our crease and set the NYX glitter primer. This shadow is pretty, like, it has a lot of fallout, and you see I just barely touched in it and it left like an indent in it, but that's okay. So now we're going to pick up the shader brush we used to carve out the crease and to apply our glitter primer, and we're going to go in with the shade Tiffany right here. It's a nice, I would say, kind of rose goldish shade. And we're just setting this in the center of our eyelid. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the shade Passion right here, which is a deep purple again, and we're gonna put that on the back of the blending brush, and we're gonna blend out the edges of the glitter. Also, we're putting this into the crease to deepen up the crease. So I think that's it for the eye look right now, and we're gonna move on to the face. So we're gonna carve out basically all of this fallout that we just had with this beautiful bronze 2-in-1 concealer that I mentioned earlier. It's just in a different shade. So we're gonna go in with our beauty blender, and we're just gonna blend this out. So the foundation I'll be using today is the Maybelline New Super Stay 24-Hour Full Coverage Foundation, and I am in the shade Warm Sun. So we're just gonna go in with our AOA Studio High Definition F4 brush to blend this out. The concealer we'll be using today is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic in the shade Caramel. And we're going to do this in a triangular shape underneath the eye. We're going to blend this out using our beauty sponge. Next, today we're not going to be using a translucent powder. We're just going to set our face using this chai shade right here in the ItsMyRayeRaye palette, because it looks like a light enough setting shade for me that it should work.
That's good.
And then we're just gonna take this e.l.f. tapered blending brush right here with Chai again and just make sure to set under our eyes. We're gonna come and dust it off in a few minutes. So to contour, we're gonna be using this shade. We're gonna try to use the shade right here, the one in the middle. It's Mocha. This will be like a good, I would say, kind of bronzing shade if this doesn't work as a contour shade. Oh no, it worked as a contour shade, so we're just gonna be using that. I really like that as a contour shade on me. I would say it's not too light and not too dark. And just to use it, we're gonna go in with the darkest shade right here, which is Brownie Bite, and we're gonna really give it a harsh line. So we're gonna go back in and blend that now. We're going back in with the e.l.f. small tapered brush, and we're gonna go back in with Chai again, just to clean up the contour. Now we're gonna dust the powder that we left from Chai under our eyes off. And we're gonna do the same thing to Chai under the contour. We don't want it sitting there too long. So we're gonna go in with our Eco Tools, just flat shader brush, and we're gonna go right back into the shade Friday and Sunset, and we're mixing those two together, and we're gonna run that under our lash line. Like so, and it gives it just a nice bright red effect. And today for inner corner highlight, we're going to be using the shade Allison right here, which is a nice champagne color. And we're just popping that on the inner corner like so. For highlight, we're going to go in with the shade Radiant, which is a nice peachy shade. So I'm gonna go off camera and do my eyes, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, so I went and did my eyelashes off camera, so the only thing we have left to do is our lips. So I'm taking this NYX lip pencil in the shade Espresso, and we're gonna line our lips with this. So we're gonna fill that in with the NYX Liquid Lingerie in the shade Beauty Mark. If I can open it. The only thing we have left to do is set our face, and we're going to use our Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Okay, so that's it for the look. Thank you for sticking with me, and if you liked this look and you want to find more similar to this, or you just like me, then you should make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you. Bye.